Hello! So, I'm reading an excerpt from my fantasy novel called Parted Waters. This is a prologue. I hope you enjoy. Story time. There were 7 Portent Seekers walking the path through the tombstones at dawn, faces hooded by long cowls, bare feet soundless on the dry rocky earth as they ascended higher into the mountains. The crashing echo of fallen water grew closer until the steep path turned them onto the face of a Yathras, the smooth green rock luminescent with its own magical twilight, rising out of the cleft of a hill above them like the horn of a dank wolf, and splitting the falling river into 2 large beams of sprinkling light and mist before it crashed down in foam and thunder in the whirlpools below. The path led onto a steep ledge now that overlooked the chasm that was surrounded by walls of grey rock tinged with green and blue shadows as the mist swirled over the shimmering surfaces and obscured the view of the river when they rose up. They walked in a line, one before the other, each holding a shallow dish filled with unlit ash and incense that rose up when stirred by the cool air, trails of dust carried by the whisper of the winds over the figures in black that walked slowly ahead into the spray in the half-darkness. "We are not alone," observed Rave with the silky voice of Spirit Woman, the last of the 7, as she glanced back for the 3rd time since they had begun their journey. "A warrior has followed us from the tombs." "A scavenger?" Helva asked, not needing to turn her head. She walked ahead of Rave. They hardly lifted their voices, yet they all heard each other clearly above the loud din, and they spoke in the old tongue. "A stranger to this land, whose presence reeks with familiar blood," said Oslava, the leader. "He follows us carefully, cautiously. I am surprised he has come with us this far." Rave was uneasy. She was the one who felt the prickling sensation at the back of her neck beneath her black shawls. Familiar blood, or familiar bloodshed. Those scorpion soldiers of the palace crawl everywhere. "Well, there is only one of him, and no one else to tell the story of his death," snarled Awer violently, glancing back beyond Helva and Rave. "What he was seeking amongst the dead, he will find for himself." Their path led them so close to the Yathras fall that moisture slipped through the loose coarse cloth that they wore and ran down the limbs of their thin bodies.